Hi guys.
What's up, everyone?
So right now we're gonna be doing something different, and we're gonna just review real quick. We're gonna be reviewing a show called Made in Abyss. And also to say we're just gonna, if you haven't noticed, we have titles back here now. So if you look back there, it's gonna be what we're talking about most of the time.
Most of the time, 90% of the time.
Made in Abyss is a show that I watched a little bit ago, and it kind of like became like a staple for me, as in it's a different type of anime. So that's why I showed it to him, and then he watched it.
Yeah, and it took a while to get used to the first couple episodes, but it was definitely worth it. Definitely a unique anime, different type of storytelling that hasn't been done yet.
Yeah, it's not like your regular either romantic anime or your tragic or you just like your action filled anime. It's
like shonen anime.
It's it has a story to it, and so to start it off, it's called Made in Abyss, right? So all these people live in an abyss, inside of an abyss, like in the middle of the ocean that they found, and then
they don't live in the abyss.
They live around the abyss.
Yeah.
So technically inside of it, but not inside of it, but they live in like...
So there's a big hole in the middle of the island, and people live around the big hole.
In the big hole.
They don't live in the big hole.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, the houses go down on a slope.
Not really.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
I'll put it in there so you can see that the houses go down on a slope.
Okay.
And then it swoops down into the abyss. And that's why the people who live inside the community still feel the effects of the curse. Remember when they brought the child outside of the thing and he was okay because the curse was no longer affecting him?
There's like the ghetto that lives into the abyss. That's why like it's more of a poor community, but like the schools and the actual city is outside of the abyss. There's only the small majority of people that live in the actual abyss.
So Weavy, they live in
No,
the abyss.
no, you're talking about literally the smallest population. That's like literally in like poverty.
All of them
It's
do.
in poverty. No, they don't, hon.
Yes, they do.
Oh my god. Keep talking about the show. I'm gonna pull this up right now.
Okay, so they live on the outskirts of this abyss, and they're there because there are artifacts that they could find, and then that's how they make their living.
From an ancient civilization.
From an ancient civilization, yeah. And that's why so many people live there now. They built the communities because that's how they make their living, is finding these antiques.
Okay, right. See, so the abyss.
It swoops down.
That's just the island, my guy. So the abyss is this. See that black thing? That's the abyss. And then people live around the hole. That's the city.
Yeah, I said that it swoops down and then...
No, you said they live, and I quote, they live in the abyss. That's actually false.
Okay, but this is what...
That's part of the island.
No, this like...
That's part of the island.
She
was wrong.
No.
They live... There's...
I wasn't wrong.
Listen.
They swoop down.
No, the abyss... She's considering the whole island the abyss. That's not how that works. There's an island and there's a big hole in the middle.
Okay, so... Where was I?
Your favorite anime.
That's not my favorite anime.
A staple anime.
Are you okay?
No, I'm just saying. It's such a staple. You should know about it.
And I was right. It swoops down. The houses swoop down. And then the gaping hole is there.
The gaping hole is the abyss.
They don't live in the gaping hole.
That's what you were saying, though. They lived in the abyss. You're considering the whole island the abyss. Just that gaping hole is the abyss.
Do you know why I consider it that?
Why?
Because the curse effects still are on the island.
Not nearly as much.
The curse of the abyss. And...
They don't even know what the curse of the abyss is.
Of course. Okay, so... The curse of the abyss is that the deeper you go, the more effects the abyss have on you. So, like, there's levels to the abyss. And like the first level, which is where the first episode starts off, because these children, they live at an orphanage where they are training to be cave hunters. Is it cave divers? Cave divers. Those are people that go into the abyss and they're getting these artifacts. They're bringing them back up, and this orphanage of kids they're training to be those, and the levels go by whistles. So when they're training, they're red whistles. So those are your characters starting off. They're red whistles, and the first level from there, if you go back up to where they live, you feel nausea. Those are the effects of the abyss at that point, and they call it the curse of the abyss.
So the curse of the abyss is the deeper you go, the more you lose your humanity. So not to spoil too much, but the deeper you go, the more you lose humanity, and each level of the abyss has its effect. They designate it into about 6 levels, I believe, where she was right. The first one is nausea, and you just get dizzy, you start wanting to throw up, things like that. And then as you get deeper, the effects hit you more and more, and actually have a more toll on your physical body as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're just definitely gonna have to check the anime to figure out the rest and see how they fight through it, because it's definitely interesting.
And it's harder to come back up. So the deeper you go, the harder it is to come back up. Right. So that's why you gotta train from the top level to keep going down, because you just can't go all the way down at once, because you'll die coming back up.
Right. And actually, we misspoke. So the effects don't really hit you when you go down. It's when you elevate back up is when you start feeling the curse, the effects of the curse. So you could go down at a slow pace and be alright. You'll still feel some effects, but it's once you go try to go back up, even if it's just literally a few feet. As soon as you start elevating from where you've been, that's where the effects start to hit you. Yeah. So a lot of people have trouble. Just once they go down a certain level, they can't come back up at all. They just go. That's why many people go missing and stuff like that.
Okay, so the premise of the anime, the main girl, her mom went into the abyss, and then she was claimed as dead. Her mom was one of the best cave divers.
We don't want to give too much info.
I know, but I'm just saying the gist of the show, basically.
Well, they figure out later in the series why the main character wants to go down so bad and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
because she's trying to find her mom.
Right, but they don't tell you that in the first place.
Yeah, they do.
It's later on in the series where it's just they show a person, you're like, oh shit, that's her mom that's missing.
Her white whistle comes back up, and she left her that note at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't want to.
So I'm just saying the premise of it is that the girl is going to find her mom at the bottom of the abyss, and that means if you go to the bottom, you can't come back up. She that's where you're staying. That's where you decided to make the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So this is her journey down there, and mind you, she's a child, and she has someone with her, but I don't want to keep giving away too much of the anime, but that is
right, and it's definitely a unique story, but there's still plenty of action here and there with the battles they have to go through, and it's definitely a fun watch.
Yes,
it's not just a story anime or drama anime.
Very interesting.
It's definitely interesting. It has its action scenes. It has its It does get kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of gory.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of gory sometimes. You do see some things that make you, just cringe a little bit, but that's just part of the story and what makes it so interesting. It's nothing too crazy, so don't think it's Goblin Slayer type thing where you're gonna get this kind of.
But it's good.
Disgusted, but yeah, it's good. It's definitely just the right amount of everything.
Yeah.
Right amount of the storytelling is fabulous. Right amount of action, nothing too crazy. No too crazy fight scenes, but they're still there, and then not too much gore, but it's like I said, just enough.
Yeah,
just a little.
It's one season. There's 13 episodes, and then there's one movie. Hoping for a second season, definitely. But give it a watch. It's not that long, and it's good.
Yeah.
And then watch the movie.
And we'll definitely put some clips in this video as well, so you guys can see what we're talking about without trying to give too much away. So you guys can see what we're talking about in terms of a little bit of action, just to keep you interested while the storytelling is going on.
All right. Well, that's Made in Abyss review for you guys. We are definitely recommending it.
This is our first recommendation review video, so something to check out. We're gonna try to keep posting these about. Instead of some mainstream ones and reactions we're doing, we're trying to give you some reviews. That way when you come on this channel, you see some animes that you might have not heard of before, and want to check out, you know, if you're a seasoned vet and want to try different types of animes.
All right, well, catch you guys on the next episode
Of
something. Bye.
Bye, guys.
In the abyss, there is nothing as impartial as death. For all living creatures, death is sure to eventually come. Death is the equalizer. It is an absolute truth, and it's always lingering just within reach of us. People make the best use of their wits and courage. Struggling, floundering, they cling to life until the very end. And soon we realize this unjust and indifferent world, it's just the way we like it.
I want to become a white whistle so that I can be able to catch up with my mother!
So it seems she's alive. That little imp.
Am I really just a relic? Why did I come here? What am I?
The deeper you go, the greater the physical toll becomes whenever you try to head back home.
At the netherworld's bottom, I'll be waiting.
The bottom of the abyss? You talk about it like it's no big deal. But if you go there, you can never come back.
I wonder how long you will last down in the deepest depths.
It's no use. Stop it, please!
It's about time you understand the full picture.
Over the span of many years, with a spirit of adventure for the unknown, and with legends luring them in, many people have come to meet their fate, swallowed up by the chasm's beckoning call, swallowed up by the abyss.